In this video, I'm going to add a contact form page to my current website. This is kind of a blogging website, so I just want to have a contact page here. So to do that, I'm going to use a plugin, and one of my favorite plugins is the Contact Form 7. It's a really good plugin to add a contact form to your website. So let's go to our dashboard and plugins, and let's add a new one, and contact form 7. Do a search and install. Okay, activate the plugin, and let's jump right to the settings. And here we go. So there's actually some information here how you can get started, and actually you see like a default contact form that's already made. And what's nice about this plugin, it already shows you the short code here, so all you have to do is create a page and put this short code in there, and you've got your contact form. And actually you can create new ones as well just by using the add, so you can have more than one contact form and then on different pages. So let's just take a look at, I like the fact that he has the contact code right here in his plugin. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, and I'm going to see what this contact form looks like. And if I go to my pages and add new, so I'm going to create a new page for the contact form. I'm just going to call it Contact Me, add the short code, publish the page, and let's take a look at the page now. Let's do a refresh. And here we now have a Contact Me page. Let's click on this page, and there you go. The default one here has your name, your email address, subject, and your message. And if I try to send this message right now, I will actually get some errors here. So it has good error checking as well. So, but you may want to customize the form a little bit. If you want to have your own fields here instead of name and email, you may want to have like, say, for example, telephone. So let's see how we can do that with the plugin. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard, and let's go to our plugins and Contact 7 settings. And if you want to change the form, all you have to do is edit the form right here. Click on edit, and you get this kind of display here with different options. So you can see here there's these are the fields, and your name, your email address, the subject, your message. So you can remove one if you wanted to just by copying and just do a X like that, and you would remove that from the form. So if you want to remove one, you can just delete them, and if you want to add one, you can do that as well. Basically you just need to copy this, the other ones that are there. So to do that, let's say I wanted to put the telephone number right under your email right here. What I would do, just copy this, Control C, and just put it underneath here, do a Control V. So I will get two email ones right now. So I want to change this to your telephone number, and I have here what they call a tag. It's kind of a tag for this particular field, the telephone field. So you can generate your own tag if you just click on here. So let's see, we have some predefined ones here. If I choose telephone number, I get these options here. So I can make it a required field just by checking the box here. And I can actually put a default value in there as well, and a size and a class. That's if you're using CSS. That's not necessary. A maximum length, if you want to control the length of the field, you could do that. And what's important here is the placeholder. If you wanted to use a placeholder, that is, like, give an example of what the phone number should look like, you can do that. Just 11-1111, and we can then copy this code and paste it into the form to the left. So you have to take this and just do a Control-C and just replace this tag here, which we copied from the email, with the new one that we just generated. Just do a Control-V, and now you have your tag in there, and we put the required there, and we have your telephone number. Okay, and it says here, and put this code into the mail fields below. So I should copy this. I'm going to do a Control-C and put this code into the mail fields below. Okay, so let's have a look at below and see what we have. So just below here we kind of have a template of what our email is going to look like, and the first field that you see here is kind of the to field, which corresponds to the where the email is going to be sent to. So if someone goes to your website, they fill out the form and they send it, it's going to go to that address. It's going to go to your address. This address comes from, actually, in the settings in general, the default email address that you put there. And you can change this if you want. You could set this to a different email address if you want. And the from field here is your name and your email, which are coming from up here. So on the form itself, the user is going to enter their email address and their name, and then that information is going to be put into the from field in the email. And then also the subject is going to come up from here as well, your subject from the form. So the user will fill out the subject on the form. It'll get put in the subject portion of your email. And additional headers, file attachments, those are not important. And use HTML content type, so that's the content type in the body. And you can use HTML or just use the default, it's up to you. And then the message body here, the body of the message is going to look like this. It's going to have the from part in there. It's going to have the subject part in there. You can actually remove this if you don't want that in there. And the message body is basically just corresponds to this message here, the message part of the contact form. So, and then there's also this little message. This email was sent from a contact form on Mr. Critic. That's the website title, and just the address of the website where it was sent from. So you can delete that too just by selecting and deleting it as well. So you can control how the message, this is the message body template. And what you want to do is you want to add this telephone part as well to the message body. So whereabouts, you could put it after the message, I guess. Just do a Control-V, and now the telephone part of that will be added to the message body. And we can then just save it. Let's go to save up here. I'm going to save it. And now let's go back. So contact form 1 is saved, and this is the information that we pasted already into our page. And we go to our pages, and let's go to our contact form page, our contact me page, edit, and there is the information that we already added. We already put the shortcode in there, so we should be good to go. Now if I go back to the form and I do a refresh, we should see that telephone added to our set of fields there. And there we go. We have the telephone number. It's now been added, and you see that kind of like example there. So let's put in a name there. I'm going to put in my name, Julian. and my email address. I'll use my Hotmail address and telephone number. Oh, it automatically added my telephone number in there. It has that auto refill option, and I'm going to add the subject. This is a test email, and your message, hello world, and I'm going to send this message. Your message was successfully sent, so they get some feedback, which is good. So I'll check my email. I'm just going to go to my Outlook here, and here I see my email. This is a test email. It's actually in my junk email, so I'm going to click on here and take a look at the email, and you can see, as I was saying, the from here, it has your name and your email address. So we go back here and you can see the from, your name and your email. Notice how it's kind of in brackets there as well. So you can see the name, Julian, and the email address right there. And then you see the to address. That's the administrator's address, julian@jts.name. And in the body there, remember how we saw how the from was there, the subject and the message and the telephone. So let's have a look, see if that corresponds. So yeah, you see the from here and the subject, and then the message body, hello world, and then you actually see the phone number, that extra field that we put in there, and then that last line here. So there it is. That's the email that we created. Now, one thing you should be aware of is spam. So I don't know if you've ever seen how other contact forms are done. Often they will contain what they call CAPTCHAs, and the CAPTCHA basically it makes you enter some sort of number or something like that, and it looks something like let's see, here you can see. Here you have some CAPTCHA where you have to enter some text, or sometimes even answer a question or something like that. And sometimes they can kind of be a bit annoying because it's kind of hard to read them, but these are used to kind of prevent spam on your website. So to make sure that it's a human that's actually entering information into your website, into your contact form. So there is something you should do to kind of prevent spam, and we can do that on the contact form. If we just go to the contact form and edit the form here, watch out for this here. Sometimes you see how the options kind of disappeared when you kind of toggle this. So I'm going to go and here into my form, I'm going to generate another tag, and let's see what they have here. There's kind of like an acceptance, quiz, and CAPTCHA. So there's a few options here for spam control, and let's see what the acceptance kind of does. So this is the acceptance, okay, and this means that the visitor who accepts the term unless checks it. So they kind of have to check a box and kind of accept your message. That's one way. Or let's have a look at the CAPTCHA here, see what it says. To use CAPTCHA you need so you have to actually install another plugin if you want to use that. And let's see the quiz here. And you can ask kind of a quiz question, I guess. You can generate one yourself, and then the user will have to answer that question before the email can be sent. Let's try the acceptance here. Maybe that's the easier way, and should be good enough for your website. So we would have to enter this code in, but first we have to actually generate another field here. So let's put it right after your message. So I'm just going to do a Control-C again and Control-V, and just put acceptance, and just copy this code, Control-C, and put it in here. Do a Control-V and go up, and we'll save our changes. And let's have a look at our form now. Do a refresh. and there's the acceptance right here where the user will have to accept it or else they won't be able to send it. And let's see if that works. I'll just type in anything here and type in an email address and subject and message, but I won't check the acceptance, so let's see what happens. And yeah, it will not send unless that acceptance is checked. So I'm going to check that. You may want to put a message in here saying please check the box below before sending this email. So I can just click send now, and now it actually works. So I can go back and maybe I would want to change that to something different. Please check the box below to send. Okay. And then I could just save that and it should appear on my contact page. Please check the box below to send. So that's a little bit more user-friendly than just acceptance. Okay. And we can take a look here. That's pretty well it for this form. You look at the below here, and there's some other options for the messages, like how your message was sent successfully or error messages. You can kind of customize those if you want, and you can actually create another template, and so you have two templates to use instead of just this one. Say you had a different email address or something, or you wanted to have it, maybe change this body around. You maybe want to have a different template. You can check to use that one as your default. So otherwise, it's going to be used. This one is going to be used as your default email. And as I was saying before, you can remove stuff if you want, and you can change it as you wish, adding more fields or deleting them, whatever you want to do.